ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhana ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Mayapur Dham ki jai. Yamuna Mai ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitaya Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This morning we're reading from Canto 2, Chapter 1, verse 21. Yasyam sandharyamanayam yogino bhakti lakshanaha ashu sampadyate yoga ashrayam bhadram ikshataha. Yasyam sandharyamanayam yogino bhakti lakshanaha ashu sampadyate yoga ashrayam bhadram ikshataha. Yasyam sandharyamanayam yogino bhakti lakshanaha ashu sampadyate yoga ashrayam bhadram ikshataha. Others can chant.
Hare Krishna. Yashyam sangharyamānāyām yogino bhakti lakshanaha asu sampadhye yoga ashrayam bhadram ikshataha.
Yashyam sandarbhamanayam yogino bhakti lakshanaha aso sampadayate yoga ashrayam bhadramikshita. Hare Krishna.
Yasyam sandharyamanayam yogino bhakti lakshana ashu sampadhyate yoga ashrayam bhadramikshata.
All right, thank you. Synonyms. Yasyam, by such systematic remembrance. Sandharyamanayam, and thus being fixed in the habit of. Yogina, the mystics. Bhakti lakshanaha, being practiced to the devotional system. Ashu, very soon. Sampadyate, attains success. Yogaha, connection by devotional service. Ashrayam, under the shelter of. Bhadram, the all-good. Ikshataha, which seeing that. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. O King, by this system of remembrance, and by being fixed in the habit of seeing the all-good personal conception of the Lord, one can very soon attain devotional service to the Lord, under His direct shelter. Purport. Success of mystic performances is achieved only by the help of the devotional attitude. Pantheism, or the system of feeling the presence of the Almighty everywhere, is a sort of training of the mind to become accustomed to the devotional conception. And it is this devotional attitude of the mystic that makes possible the successful termination of such mystic attempts. One is not, however, elevated to such a successful status without the tinge of mixture in devotional service. The devotional atmosphere created by pantheistic vision develops into devotional service in later days, and that is the only benefit for the impersonalist. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5 that the impersonal way of self-realization is more troublesome because it reaches the goal in an indirect way, although the impersonalist also becomes obsessed with the personal feature of the Lord after a long time. Translation one more time. O king, by this system of remembrance, and by being fixed in the habit of seeing the all-good personal conception of the Lord, one can very soon attain devotional service to the Lord under his direct shelter. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnanan Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Good morning, dear devotees. Happy to be back with all of you. Feels like I never left Philadelphia. So thank you for having me here. I'm now in Toronto, and I'm amazed with how many people are coming to this temple. I think the immigration policy in Canada is much easier. So there are lots of people coming from Nepal and Bangladesh and India, and they're flooding this temple. So it's amazing to see. Every night there's lots of people coming to the RT, especially Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So many people who are longing to hear about Krishna, see Krishna's deity forms, to taste Krishna prasadam. And so this verse is explaining, in a sense, why this is happening in Toronto. Why are there so many people being attracted? So the first thing to clear up is the goal of various practices, and then the ultimate goal of life. So there are the karmis, and they are seeking material enjoyment. There are jnanis who are seeking liberation. There are yogis who seek siddhis, mystic abilities. And beyond all of them is the bhakta, or the devotee, who is seeking prema. Lord Chaitanya said, prema pumarto mahan, that the ultimate goal of life is Krishna prema. And all others are in anxiety. They can't be peaceful because they are seeking some personal benefit out of their practice. It's self-centered. And this is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Therefore, devotees are the only ones who have peace of mind. But peace of mind is really just the beginning. Devotional service progresses up to stages of ecstasy in many different varieties. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport here that if one is practicing the mystic yoga system, they can't attain success unless it is mixed with devotional service. There's the second line of the verse, Yogino Bhakti Lakshana. So it's describing the yogis, the mystics. Bhakti Lakshana, being practiced to the devotional system. So there has to be a mixture of devotion in their practice in order for them to achieve complete success. Because Prema Pumarto Mahan, the ultimate goal of any yoga process is to achieve pure love for Krishna. And there's the direct way and there are indirect ways. Just like if you want to get to the top of a building, you can go up the staircase or you can go up the elevator. So bhakti is the quick and the direct way of attaining the highest goal of life. And Srila Prabhupada references Bhagavad Gita 12.5. Klesha dikotaras tesham avyakta sakta chetasam. That there's always klesha, there's always suffering in the path of impersonal realization. It's always difficult for those who are embodied, Lord Krishna says, to achieve success in impersonal realization. He says they will eventually reach the goal, but it's very challenging because it's dry. Simply going to the forest, doing austerities, simply studying Vedanta, fasting, avoiding eating opulent foods, the soul will not be satisfied unless it is connected with Krishna. There's material happiness, and at the highest, you can get sex pleasure. That's what people are generally seeking in this age. But this pleasure is nothing in comparison to the pleasure of merging into Brahmananda, realizing I am an eternal spiritual being, I am part of Brahman. It makes material happiness look completely insignificant. But even this Brahman, this happiness of Brahmananda, in comparison with the joy of Bhakti Yoga, the joy of serving Krishna, is compared to the water in the hoofprint of a calf, compared to an ocean. So the real happiness that the soul seeks is in relationship with Krishna. We need an ocean of nectar to satisfy our soul, not a little drop. If you're in the desert and you get a drop of water, will it quench your thirst? It will be pleasant, yes. Or if you get one cup. So you could say material happiness is like getting that one drop. Maybe getting all the money you want in the world, all the prestige, becoming famous, powerful. Okay, it's like one drop. And maybe this Brahmananda is like one cup, but it still won't satisfy you. We're in the desert of the material world. Really, what's going to satisfy us is the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the ocean of the nectar of devotion. And there's this mystic process of realization described in this section, which Shukadeva Goswami is explaining. And he's explaining how we can meditate on the supersoul in the heart. And the supersoul is beautiful. Supersoul is a form of Lord Vishnu. It's an expansion of Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, which only exists in the material world and is everywhere. It's within everyone's heart. And he is described to be 1 thumb high, sitting in the heart next to the Jiva soul. And he has reddish feet, and his toes are like jasmine buds, and he has beautiful jewelry, anklets and bangles, and he has a flower garland. He has a lightning colored dhoti, a beautiful girdle around his waist, a lotus-like navel, broad chest, a neck with lines like a conch shell, reddish lips and eyes, with a crown, with shark-shaped earrings, beautiful lotus-like eyes, practically extending to his ears, 4 arms holding lotus, disc, conch, and club. So beautiful, unbelievably beautiful. Unfortunately, mystic yogis generally are trying to meditate on the super soul to get some mystic power from him. And so Krishna will give them what they want. They will work very hard, they will get what they're seeking. But to realize the beauty of the super soul, to realize our relationship with him, how much sweeter is that? To realize that Krishna has been with us for millions and millions of lifetimes, patiently waiting. We were in the body of a pig, enjoying eating stool, and Krishna was there watching, waiting, patiently, lovingly. He was there when we were in the body of a tree, standing there for maybe hundreds or thousands of years. So boring. And yet he was there patiently, like a loving parent. Maybe their child is learning to draw, learning to walk, and they're patiently there, guiding them along. And like a child, generally doesn't appreciate the parents so much or at least can't grasp the great amount of sacrifice the parent has done for the child until much later in life. So like that, an immature soul just wants to take from Krishna. They will approach Krishna, give me money, give me a house, give me liberation, give me mystic power. Just give it, give me, give me, give me. But a mature son or daughter will say, my parent has done so much for me. I should give something back. And the parent is so pleased. So like that, we can recognize Ishwara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. That Krishna has been in our heart, accompanying us, and he's in the hearts of everyone. So shouldn't I do some service for him? Shouldn't I develop my relationship with him rather than asking for something from him? And then living in this way is so wonderful. You can go to work, you can go to school, you can be with pleasant people, you can be with unpleasant people. You can be in the temple, you can be in Kensington, you can be at home where you were born and you're comfortable, you can be far away from home. Anywhere you are, you can be satisfied because Krishna is right there. He's in your heart. And we can begin to see Krishna in the world. Srila Prabhupada describes in this purport about pantheism, learning to see and feel the presence of the Lord everywhere. Krishna explains in the Gita many ways that we can perceive him in the world. He is the light of the sun. So you walk outside on a cold day, you feel the warm rays of the sun. or after a dark night, going and seeing the sunrise, how beautiful that is, we can remember, that's my Lord. That's the potency of my Lord Krishna. Simply drinking water, rasoaham, Krishna says, I am that taste. That quenching, pleasurable feeling you get when you drink some water, that is me, Krishna says. I'm the one who's quenching your thirst. He is the moon, which provides the juice of life for all the vegetables and fruits that we eat. And so we can, after offering those fruits and vegetables back to him, we taste them, and we remember Krishna is the one who provided the taste through the moonlight. And he's the one who digests it for us as well. He's the fire of digestion. If we don't digest properly, we will become diseased. So if our digestion is proper, we can say, thank you, Krishna, for allowing me to digest. And if it's not proper, then we can pray to Krishna, please help me. You are the fire of digestion. So these are some ways that we can see Krishna. He gives many ways in Bhagavad Gita how we can cultivate this vision of seeing him everywhere. And as a super soul, we can feel him everywhere and remember that he is with us, guiding us. But even this won't satisfy us completely. We need to come to a higher stage of realization. Srila Prabhupada is explaining here. Because the super soul, although a more complete realization than Brahman realization, the super soul doesn't have lila. And the super soul only exists in this material world to help guide the conditioned souls back to the spiritual world. So it's really the complete feature of the Lord that we are seeking as a soul. Vadanti tat tatvavidas tatvam yaj jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. So the absolute truth is in three features and is non-dual. So these are all the absolute truth. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. But they're different levels of completeness. So in order to feel complete satisfaction, we need to attain the complete realization of Bhagavan, Krishna, who has pastimes and unlimited names, unlimited forms. We sing every morning, Shri Radhika Madhava Yoda Pada Madhurya Lila Guna Rupanamna Pratikshana Swadana Lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. So we praise Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual masters because at every moment they're longing to hear of the unlimited pastimes, to hear the beautiful names, the unbelievable, unlimited qualities of Sri Sri Radha Madhava. So this is what will satisfy the soul. And this is why we praise the spiritual master. When you compare the bliss of Brahmananda to the unlimited varieties of pastimes, names, forms, qualities of Krishna, it seems so boring, doesn't it? Brahman realization, there's no variety. And so, therefore, the soul will always come back to the material world. Because the soul needs activity. There needs to be variety. There's an expression, variety is the mother of pleasure. So the demigods explain in their prayer to Lord Krishna in the prison cell in which Devaki and Vasudev are locked by King Kamsa. As Lord Krishna appears, one of their prayers is Ye nye ravindaksha vimukta maninas tvayastabhavad avishuddha buddhaya aruha kritrena param padam tata patantyadho nadrita yushmarangraya. They explain someone who thinks themselves liberated, vimukta maninas. They're just thinking themselves liberated, but they have avishuddha buddha. They have impure intelligence. And because they haven't properly grasped the wonders of Krishna's lotus feet, they will come back to the material world. And they will do some activity. They will do some charity work. They'll open hospitals. They will give food to the poor. Good sattvic activities, humanitarian activities, but still attached to the material world. And so if someone is liberated, why would they come back? Because they need some variety. They need the satisfaction of the unlimited Bhagavan, Krishna. And in fact, he's so attractive that even the Brahman realized souls become attracted to him. Atma Ramas Chumunayo. Even those who are self-satisfied, Atma Rama, they become attracted to Krishna. Like Shukadev Goswami is a prime example. Srila Vyasadeva taught him Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is how actually he attracted him back. Shukadev Goswami ran away from home right after he had taken birth. He stayed 16 years in the womb to avoid material contamination. And then when he finally came out, he immediately took off. And Vyasadeva sent some of his disciples to recite verses of Srimad Bhagavatam to attract his mind, call him back. So they recited some verses about the wonderful mercy of Lord Krishna, how even Putana, who had come to try to kill little baby Krishna, had received the position of a nurse, a mother in Goloka Vrindavan, because she had some motherly action, and Krishna took the essence. So Shukadev Goswami was attracted by hearing about the quality, the merciful quality of Lord Krishna. Devotional service is so wonderful. Lord Chaitanya explains. It's not only an ocean. So we said that Brahmananda is like water in a calf's hoofprint. Devotional service is like an ocean of nectar. But it's not just an ocean. It's Anandam Buddhivardhanam. It's an ever-increasing ocean. Prati Padam Purnamrita Swadanam. We can taste complete nectar at every step. So from beginning to end, the practice of bhakti, pure devotional service, is completely joyful. Susukam. This bhakti yoga is not just happiness, it's susukam. It's extreme happiness. It cleanses all of our material desires from the root, Cheto Darpana Marjana. Whereas other processes of transcendental realization, they don't get to the root. So they're not able to fully cleanse the heart. Whereas bhakti is able to uproot all of our sinful desires, even the seeds of sinful desire. So it takes away the reactions which are currently in place that we're living right now, future reactions, past reactions, and the seeds of reaction. It cleanses everything. It's even so wonderful that simply by practicing bhakti yoga, Krishna explains you can run blind and never trip and fall in the path of bhakti. It's so wonderful that even a little progress will save you from the most dangerous type of fear. Nehabikrama nashosti pratyavayo navidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahatobaya. There's no loss, there's no diminution. In material life, if you want to make advancement, okay, you can reach your goals, you can make $1 billion, you can become a Jeff Bezos. But then at the end of life, it's all taken from you. And in the next life, you have to start over at zero. But with bhakti, you make even 1% advancement. And in your next life, you can continue on from there. Krishna is so merciful that even accidentally performing devotional service gives you benefit. Isn't that amazing? With other practices, if you're doing a karma kanda, ritual sacrifice, if you even slightly mispronounce one mantra, you won't get the result you're looking for. There's examples of this in Srimad Bhagavatam. But in bhakti, there's so many ways people will pronounce the Hare Krishna mantra. Some people say Rama, some people say Ram, some people say Krishna, some people say Krishna. But Krishna doesn't get concerned about that because it's like a child. They say ma, 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 ma. They're not even saying the full name, but the mother understands and is so affectionately attracted and wants to help the child. The bhakti is so wonderful. It's so easy to do. It gives us the greatest happiness. It gives us the complete realization, the perfection of everything in life. Everything we're seeking can be accomplished through bhakti. And this is called faith. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that faith means simply by practicing bhakti, I can get everything. We may be looking to achieve our goals in so many ways. We think that my own intelligence, my own influence, my money, my family connections, my community connections, my position, my caste, my birth, whatever it might be. People are thinking that I can achieve my goals with these means. But as we hear more about the process of bhakti, we can recognize and develop the faith that just by practicing bhakti, I can accomplish everything. And in fact, this is what distinguishes different levels of devotees. So there's Kanishta Adhikari, the lowest grade devotee, who simply worships the Lord in the temple as the deity form, but they don't know how to interact well with other devotees, nor do they try to share Krishna consciousness with others. Then there's the Madhyama Adhikari, the middle level devotee, and they understand who Krishna is, They understand who devotees are and they try to develop friendship with them. They understand who are innocent people, they try to help them and share Krishna consciousness with them. And they can see who are envious people and they carefully avoid them. And then there's the Uttamadhikari. Uttama means free from all darkness of ignorance. And they see everyone as more advanced than themselves. They see everyone as a devotee, and only me, I'm the only one who's not a devotee. So the different levels of devotees described here are distinguished by their faith and knowledge. So increasing our faith in the process of bhakti as the only means to achieve everything we're looking for, that will distinguish our level of advancement in bhakti yoga. So how do we increase our faith? We increase our faith through hearing, shravanam. This is why we come here. You all have this wonderful sangha. You come, many of you every morning. And by hearing regularly about the process of bhakti, about the goal of bhakti, about our relationship with Krishna, then we start to become convinced. Because there's a principle in marketing that the more someone is exposed to an advertisement, the more chance there is that they will purchase the product, right? How many times have you seen an advertisement for Coca-Cola? So the more we're exposed to something, the more we become attracted to that thing. Or the more it will start to stick in the mind, at least. And Krishna explains that as we meditate on something, we start to develop attachment for it. And that attachment turns into a great, strong attachment or lust. And if unsatisfied, it will turn into anger. We will lose our memory, lose our intelligence. We will fall back into the material pool. This is what happens when we meditate on the objects of sense gratification. And this is exactly what the advertising companies know. They practically study these verses of Bhagavad Gita so they can bring everyone into their pool in the material world and exploit them for all of their money and their attention. We were hearing, I believe this was a class in Philadelphia recently, that the CEO of Netflix, they were explaining that their goal is to basically capture your mind for as long as possible. The goal of Netflix or these media companies is to just capture your mind, keep it staring at their product for as long as possible, so they can expose you to as much of their material products. So they can sell you more things and get more from you. So through hearing, through meditating on the objects of material sense gratification, then very naturally, the conditioned soul becomes attracted to them. So then, why not fill our mind with the objects of Krishna? Why not fill our mind? Why not look at the form of Krishna in the deity form in the temple? Why not have pictures of Krishna all over our home? Our phone background, our laptop, we can have pictures of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. We can use our nose to smell the incense in the temple. We can offer incense and flowers to the deities and smell the prasadam. Or after we've cooked and offered boga, we can smell the delicious prasadam. We can taste that prasadam with our tongue. There's unlimited varieties of wonderful prasadam. We can embrace the bodies of devotees and we can use our ears to hear the beautiful Maha Mantra, to hear bhajans glorifying Lord Krishna and his devotees. We can use our mind to meditate on all of this. Devotional service is so wonderful that we don't even have to do it physically. If you're unable, if you're locked in jail, or if you're handicapped, or if you're blind, or whatever it might be, if the people around you would be very inimical to practicing devotional service, you can just practice in your mind. This is how merciful Krishna is. You just think of me. Man mana bhava man bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. He repeats this twice in the Gita. So it's obviously very important. Just think of me. Man mana, this is Krishna consciousness. Mad bhakta, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam namaskuru, offer obeisances. How easy are those things? Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. If you just give me a leaf, a fruit, a flower, water, I will accept it. How easy is that? So then, if bhakti is so wonderful, why don't people accept it? Right? Why don't people accept it? Well, one reason is pride. You're just dancing and chanting. This is what Prakashananda Saraswati said about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, these devotees, they're just sentimentalists. In a sense, it's true. There's great sentiment, there's great feeling in devotional practice, which is why we experience such happiness. It's not dry like the impersonal practice, but there's also philosophy. There's bhakti and Vedanta. There's the heart and there's the head. But people are too proud. And so people don't take the process of bhakti. And so as we increase our own faith in the process of bhakti, we can help those people who are too puffed up to even consider trying the process of bhakti. We have family members, we have friends, coworkers, acquaintances we know, and they just are not interested. But as we develop our faith, we can always meditate on ways to help elevate them. Prasadam is an easy way. Just bringing some cookies to work or whatever they like the most, we can make that, bring it, and help them. We could even just pray for them. Even they won't know, but they will get advancement for that. Krishna is so kind that if his devotee prays for another soul, he will give them benefit. So we can just meditate, we can pray for the well-being of other living entities. Swastyastu vishvasya kala prasidatam. There's a beautiful prayer. I'll finish up with this, and then I'd love to hear your reflections, questions. So this is the residents of Jambudweep making this prayer in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam. Swastyastu vishvasya kala prasidatam. May all living entities in this universe have good fortune, and may all envious people be at peace. Dhyayantu bhutani shivam mito dhyat. Because by practicing bhakti yoga, they will think of each other's welfare. Isn't that wonderful? So just imagine a world where people actually thought of each other's welfare. Didn't think of only their own. So we can meditate on this verse and try to become that type of person where we always think about the welfare of others. We want even the envious people, kala prasidatam, to be at peace. And we think of each other's welfare. We think of the well-being of others and try to uplift them. And as we increase our faith in the easy practice of bhakti yoga, then more and more we will have this desire naturally come. I just want everybody to be happy. I've become so happy by this practice. My cup is overflowing. I need to share this. It's like it becomes a need. I need to drink water to survive. I need to eat food to survive. I need to share this bhakti yoga because it's so unbelievably joyful. How could I not? So little by little, we seek that state where our cup is overflowing. And so just sticking with the standard process, coming here every day and hearing about Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna, very easily we will come to that stage, taking good association. So those are some reflections on this verse. I really appreciate all of your kind attention. And I'd love to hear now any thoughts or questions from the assembled sages.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mother
It's so good
Mitravinda.
to see you again, Brhat Mrdanga.
Nice to see you. Hare Krishna. You've got some friends with you.
I do.
Hi there.
These are two really, really amazing young people, young-bodied souls from our neighborhood here, and I just want to say how much we miss you.
Thank you very much. You're
and
very kind.
the words you were speaking today as your realizations and actually confirmation of the bhakti process, which is about love, care, compassion, and relationship. Very, very important. Pretty much above everything else, because when we chant, we're having a relationship with Krishna, but not just with Krishna, but with ourselves and all other beings. And you reflecting on that really helps to solidify for both Logan and Kane this process, which is, I'll say, in some aspects new to them, but in other aspects very, very much a part of who they are as the self and the soul. And they're two lovely and amazing people who are on this journey. And
well, thank you for bringing Logan and Kane to hear a little bit. Thank you all for joining.
Yeah, and they came to morning program this morning for the first time. They came to Mangalarti and everything during the Purushottam Mass. They're getting such really wonderful benefits.
What did you all think? Any reflections on going to the temple this morning?
It was very peaceful. Going into meditation and chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I remember when I was finished, just feeling calm and at ease, and that felt really joyful for my soul. Felt really
Great.
good.
Very happy to hear that. That's what we're all seeking, right?
Right.
Yeah, chanting makes that very easy to attain.
Yeah, I'll be in touch with you, Brhat Mrdanga, please.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good. Hare Krishna. So thoughts from others here?
Thank you very much, Brhat Mrdanga Prabhu. Very happy to have your association again this morning. Wonderful descriptions of bhakti yoga and devotional service. And it's my birthday today, so it's been a wonderful gift this morning to hear you speak about devotional service. One thing that I'm always thinking about is this, I've never used the word pantheism, but it seems to me I don't know, does it matter if I understand it or not? I don't think so. Does it matter which came first, or, as long as the destination is devotional service, I'm still quite not feeling, I'm doing it out of faith, just knowing that this is the process. And I have faith in what Srila Prabhupada has said, so I'm chugging along and I'm hoping I will taste it someday. But is it a step that comes before? Does it have to be a step that comes before, that we see Krishna in everything? Again, does it matter that we know that or not? I don't know, but...
Well, I think Acharya Prabhu could probably answer more completely than I would be able to. Would you like to share something before I speak, Acharya Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, thanks for asking. I'm not sure how much I could really add to it, but I'll just throw out this idea that seeing Krishna everywhere is simultaneously like an early stage, an early impetus for, transferring people from an impersonal idea to a personal idea, specifically that's Virat Rupa. But at the same time, seeing Krishna everywhere is also the quality of the Uttama Adhikari. So which comes first, the chicken or the egg? I couldn't say, but it's there, and either as an impetus in the beginning or gradually we'll get realization of it. So it's definitely part of our Krishna consciousness. I'll sum it up by saying that, which is not, I don't know if that helps or gives any idea, but that was just a couple of thoughts.
Thanks, Prabhu. As for myself, I don't have realization that Krishna is the sun. But when I see the sun, I try to at least intellectually recall, oh, right, Krishna says in the Gita that he is the sun. And I love the sunlight. It's so helpful. So like that is how I practice. But yeah, I have the same desire as you, Mother Shobha Radhe. One day I can feel and see the presence of Krishna everywhere.
Yes. That is the prayer.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Mother Vindyavali.
And also,
sorry.
Just one more thing. If you can put in the chat the last verse that you just said about compassion for everybody, that is such a wonderful prayer.
Yes, I will post it there.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
The way you are explaining that Lord Vishnu, that his navel and then his dress and from the feet to up, really I was in that. I was feeling that. I saw the Vishnu. That's it. And then you're saying everywhere we see Krishna. That is true. If you, I don't know how much I have devotion or anything. I'm just least person. But when I see birds, they go here and there, they pick something. And all day they do that without tiring for food. And by evening, they go to the trees and then they just rest. They don't bother anything. Then who gave them that? And then the colors of birds, who gave that? And the trees, yes, when snow comes, when wind comes, I see the trees standing there. I feel so bad, oh God, we are sitting inside the house and the tree is sitting outside. So that is something in another life. And if we are not doing something, we have to have that punishment. We have to stand up like that. So a lot of things, and each, and like you're saying, sun, from childhood, my mother used to say, oh, pray God, sun God, go and do offer these things, obeisances. We used to do that. Why? We don't know. But right now, we know that they are. Yes, sun and moon are his eyes. That's what we feel. But everything, without sun we cannot live, without moon we cannot live, without rain we cannot live. All these things, where from they came? That is the nature, that is somebody behind that. Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the way you are explaining that, I was just fully involved in that. I was seeing the God there.
Mm.
So thank you very much. Though you're very younger than me, but you have so much knowledge. You were explaining so good. I really like the class. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your encouragement. I really appreciate that.
We're missing you.
I miss being there. I look forward to coming back.
Yeah, come on.
Acharya Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, thanks.
Hare Krishna.
This is not a question about the class, and I missed the first few minutes, so I don't know if you already did it. But could you share with us, where you're living now, what your service is, what preaching adventure, your new preaching adventure you're embarking upon? Share a little of that with us.
Sure. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, I'm right now in Toronto for 1 month. And my plan is to visit all of the Krishna houses on a regular basis to help support them, share ideas between the centers, what's going well, what's not.
How many centers so far?
There's Gainesville, Florida, the original, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Toronto, Canada. And if Radha Shard Bihari so desire, Philadelphia can go on. Soon, Murari Gupta and his wife Sati, maybe they're there already, but they should be there soon, spending 2 weeks just to see if they like it there, and they can keep the Sankirtan going. So I'm planning to go to Gainesville, Florida. They have a Sankirtan van, which I used to travel in before COVID. So I'm going to fix it up and then begin to live in that and travel between each center and distribute books along the way. So I'm very eager to travel, and that will allow me to more easily go between temples, and hopefully I can make it to Philadelphia on a regular basis. At least once a year, I'd like to visit all these Krishna houses.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing that.
Sure, Prabhu. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, and best of luck with all of your endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Sundasana.
Mataji.
How are you, Prabhu?
I'm well. Happy to be here with you.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, what was the verse you were saying in the last moment? That was so sweet. The verse you
Yes.
said.
Yeah, I sent it in the chat here to Mother Shobha Radhe.
Oh, I didn't get it yet.
It's only allowing me to send it directly to the host.
Yeah, I'll send it to everybody.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful verse. It reminds me actually of Buddhist prayer meditation I used to do. It's called metta meditation. And the idea is to meditate on your loving feelings for people in your life, and then begin to expand those loving feelings more and more. So you first begin to think of your partner, your wife, husband, or your children, or people you love the most, and you keep that feeling in your heart. And then you meditate on others in your life, maybe your extended family, coworkers, and you try to imagine extending those feelings to them. And gradually you begin to expand it to where it's the entire universe. And this is the mood of these residents of Jambudweep. I was thinking Mother Vindyavali was speaking about the trees and feeling bad for them, because this mood is even not just human beings, but even the trees. May they have good fortune. May they become pure devotees. Even the little mosquito who's biting me right now, may this mosquito become pure devotee. Imagine having that.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's very sweet.
Thank you. Yes, please recite and share this prayer with everyone you know, so we can begin to infect the world with compassion.
Yes.
Very, very nice class to take.
Hare Krishna.
Lot
All
of things.
glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, that's true. If his glories and everything is not there, we cannot be.
Yes. Jai Bhakta David, thank you for the brief darshan. Hare Krishna.
He always gives brief lesson. That's very nice, Prabhu. We miss you. Come back.
Okay.
I look forward to it.
I don't see any more hands up. So thank you, and until next time. So today there is a program at the Bhakti Garden. Jai Advaita Maharaj is going to be there, and tomorrow morning Bhagavatam class, and in the evening there is a program at the temple again with Maharaj. So hope to see everybody there.
Happy birthday, Shobharadi Mataji.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Birthday.
you. Thank you very much.
There he is
Thank
again.
you very much for your service.
Uh,
Thank you very much.
He needs lots of blessings.
You know, as she's doing wonderful service every day, she's making sure that everybody hears Srimad Bhagavatam by being present.
Yes, this is
This is launch the
best way
Zoom.
to start the day.
Yeah. And thank you, Brhat Mrdanga Prabhu. You have a lot of content and a lot of nice instruction in your class. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right, I'll see you all next time.
Okay.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Bye.
Manchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo